Now, the funny thing is, as of January, Nigeria was still employing the Cybercrime Act of 2015.
Okay.
When the petition was written.
Okay.
By February, President Tinubu had already signed into law the new amended Cybercrime Act.
Without Section 24.
Which meant most of the things they were harassing me over had no place in law. So it was rather funny because you started out a hunt for me using the Cybercrime Act of 2015. As of the time you eventually abducted me, what you were coming after me for was no longer law. So it was very heartbreaking to learn that, okay, our law enforcement officers didn't know the law enough to do their jobs. And I felt some form of sympathies for some of these men. There was a point where I genuinely felt sympathies for those men because some of them were taking orders. Some of them were just doing what they were told. Some of them did not even know. Some did not even know what I was accused of. Many of them did not even know what I was accused of. I'll paint a scenario for you. There was a time a policeman was questioning me. And I asked him, have you read the story? And he was like, these are the documents. Now, he was showing me a bit. I asked him, no, have you read the story? He said, you did not. The company has told us that they did everything. They built the project. I said, if you read the story, it's written there that the contractor built the project. I didn't say that they didn't build the project. I said they relocated the project, which has no place in procurement law. Now, you award a contract. It's on the Open Treasury portal. Anybody that goes online will see that the OSSAP SDGs paid money for a school in Ajeromi Primary School in Lagos. That is what is public record. Now, I visited Ajeromi and I found that there was no construction at all. Now, inside
not even a block.
There's nothing. I'm telling you. Now, the excuse the contractor gave for relocating the project was the soil. That at the time they wanted to build those things, the soil, when they did the analysis, the soil couldn't hold the buildings, which was why they relocated it. That is a lie. I'll tell you why. Let me explain it in layman's terms. Now, if you walk into a toilet built by an average Lagos landlord, you know how small they are.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if I tell you that I was going to put in a deep freezer, a proper standard deep freezer into an average Lagos landlord kind of toilet, and it will have enough room for me to dance around, sleep around, and use the toilet while also using the deep freezer, what would you tell me?
Of course, I mean, it's not possible.
Thank you. Now, if you get into a Jeremy school, you walk in, you see a very old block of classrooms. If you walk in past the gate, you're going to see a very narrow area. I included the pictures in that story. You see a very narrow area. There's no space to even situate a kiosk in that building. A kiosk cannot be built in that compound because the block of classrooms that's already there has taken up the entire land space. So 4 people can't walk side by side in that corridor, in the space that's afforded there. So how then did anybody decide that they should in the first place award a contract to build 6 blocks of classrooms and a skill acquisition center in that location? It's impossible. I'm not saying it's difficult, it's impossible. That's what that story was saying. So, and then the contractor that owns the company that got the contract never even knew that her company got a contract.
The contractor didn't know that
she had no idea. I'm telling you that the company that was paid The people who eventually did the contract told me that it was a lawmaker who gave them the contract to do. Now, how did a lawmaker get into the OSSCP SDGs to then decide where a contract goes to, who executes the contract? Meanwhile, the money was paid into Enseno GV, a restaurant in Abuja. Those were the questions I was asking in my report. Now, mind you, I sent the OSSAP SDG's office an FOI request on 19th of October 2023. 7 days elapsed. I didn't do anything. By law, after 7 days, you can sue any entity that fails to honor an FOI request. After 7 days, I waited. I gave them more time. I gave the office a total of 19 days to respond to that FOI, because the story was published on November 7th.
Okay.
So if they say that I was on a witch hunt, I was trying to make the office look bad, why would I afford them 19 days to respond to an FOI they were supposed to respond to in 7 days? That's nearly 3 weeks I afforded them. So I kept explaining to the policeman, look, read it here. This is what this is saying. I was taking him line by line to explain everything in that story.
All right.
He said, read it.
So you wrote to them. You actually reached out to them for information. Even I'm sure, as a journalist, if they call you up the next day, say no, what you wrote, we disagree with this, and we want a right of reply that you know we won't tell us. That you would readily give them the opportunity. I'm sure.
Absolutely. I would even give you an example. After the story was published, Desmond Utomwen, the OSSAP SDG's communication person, I later got his contact and I sent him a copy of the FOI. I said, I sent your office this FOI request long ago. He never responded. That was later on in November, even after we had gone to press. After the whole thing, when the OSSAP SDGs did not respond, I was later able to get this guy's number. And I sent him a copy of the FOI. I said, this thing, it shows received. You received our FOI request, but you guys never responded. And he said, I will get back to you on that. Till today, he never did.
All right. Where are we now? Because we're out of time with the case. In 1 minute, and what would you like to say to Nigerians who are listening? Yes, in 1 minute, please.
Okay, so currently the police are still investigating. I don't know if they want to go to court. I don't know if they are going to court, but if they are, they should let me know. But currently they say they're still investigating. But for Nigerians, I've always said the same thing. You cannot sit back and watch your country fall to bits. We can't all escape. We should all see something, say something, regardless of what may happen. We should all support each other and help each other out.
Thank you.